Hi, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the live. I'm trying to get this camera set up straight because I'm charging my phone. There we go, I think that's a little better. I'm charging my phone. Oh my god. How y'all been? I dropped my sage trying to set it up, but we got it. How y'all been? I'm excited to be back. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in like forever. Seriously. Let's see who pops on tonight. We're going to be talking about astrology and aura. I think that's a popular conversation. The aura conversation is a popular conversation. But anyway, I think today's question I'm just going to ask us, and I'm going to ask you guys, what is your sun sign? Let's see. That's what I'm going to ask you guys. What is your sun sign? Hold up. I'm going to have to do it like this on my phone. What is your zodiac sign? I know a lot of people get confused when you start saying sun and moon sign. Oh, good. There we go. What is your zodiac sign? I want to know. I know people love to talk about what their zodiac sign is. Like, seriously. Even people who are not, like, into astrology, they will tell you their zodiac sign. They'll ask you sometimes. So, let's see. There you go. So if anybody asks my zodiac sign, I'm a Gemini. So Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius. Ooh. There we go. You're an Aquarius? Okay. Okay. What am I doing? I was trying to type welcome back on the computer so y'all can see it on y'all's end. But if y'all are wondering, I'm a Gemini. I love to talk. So I wanted to talk about exactly like why I'm asking you this. Y'all see that the conversation today, we're going to talk about astrology and auras. A lot of people are interested in auras, and like if you were just in our health conversation, you will get like I think you should understand auras if you were in the health conversation and how important our aura is. And to me, a lot of people don't believe in auras, and I'm like, how you don't believe in auras when people could literally measure your body temperature with a machine? Like people literally measure body temperatures. And that's all aura is the energy that's being released, whether that's like the rhythms of your heart or just like the actual heat in your body that is being released. And it releases on different dimensions. But your aura says a lot about who you are at a moment. Your aura doesn't have to be the same. Like I'll show y'all my aura. If you guys are interested, which I have it covered up by my $2 sign, but let me take it out because I don't want it to confuse y'all. So you guys see what it look like. I wanted to go get an aura picture, but man, I had a lot of stuff going on this weekend, so I didn't get to go get one. But this was my aura. This was like in 2020, and this is like in 2021. Can y'all see that? And you can kind of see the aura is kind of similar in colors. Like I have like the magenta, the blue, but that was more in this picture. But then the year later, you could see more of the reddish, yellowish colors up here and more white down here. But they say white signifies purity, higher knowledge, higher connection to God especially. Okay. And blue symbolizes communication, of course, all those things. So this is my aura. This is a 1 year apart, mind you. Have y'all ever had an aura picture before? Oh, thanks. Have you ever had an aura picture before? Because each color means something different. And like, I really love the color magenta. Like this magenta color is like my favorite color. And I remember when I first got this picture taken, my screensaver was a magenta screensaver that kind of reminded me of this color. Like, oh wow. Okay, so we got a Scorpio on the stream. I'll show y'all that later. But we'll get a little bit more into aura and what aura colors mean a little later. But I wanted to talk about how I use astrology first in my everyday life, because I really do use astrology like daily. But I'm also more of a proficient person at it. Like if you only know your sun sign, if I start talking in astrological terms, you'll probably be confused. But that's why I say I'm more proficient and not like a master of it, because I can use the words and like decipher what I see in a birth chart, but I'm not going to always be able to communicate what that means for everybody else. For me, yeah, maybe, but for everybody else, no. Thank you, buddy. I love you too. So when I use astrology every day, I like to, number one, use the sun, not the sun, but the moon. I like to see where it is in my birth chart specifically. And I'll show you guys what a birth chart is, just in case you guys don't know what a birth chart looks like. Hey, PR, it's good to see you too, friend. How are you? Oh, that's blurry. I hope not all of these pictures are blurry. Let's try this one. So this is a birth chart. This is a birth chart right here, y'all, just in case you guys don't know what a birth chart is. And so I've been studying my birth chart for a very long time. It's been over 5 years that I've been studying my own birth chart. And I do think that it takes a while to learn everything, like because you have different symbols that relate to different planets. You have different angles that mean different stuff. You have different sectors of your birth chart that mean different stuff. Like they all mean different stuff. Hey, John. And Minty is a Aries. Okay. So when you learn your birth chart, like it's not gonna be a one and done thing. Thank you so much, baby. It's not gonna be a one and done thing. Like you're going to be studying this for the rest of your life. And a birth chart is just like an image of what the stars in the sky looked like when you were born. And understand, it's all correlational, y'all. It's all correlational. That means that just because the sun was at its peak doesn't mean that that is the reason why you are who you are today. What it means is that it correlates to your behavior, right? So like for me, I told you guys I like to study like the moon, how it moves through my birth chart, especially like the full moon and new moon. It helps me to know what is best for me to manifest during a certain time. So for instance, like let's see, what's the moon coming up? Hey, Sayu. How y'all doing? What's y'all's zodiac sign? So it's the 29th today. Today's the 29th. So like I'm giving y'all an example, right? Today's the 29th. And that means that the moon is in Taurus, right? So if you were Taurus, most likely your emotions are being highlighted today in whatever way, depending on your birth chart. But for me specifically, Taurus is in my 12th house, right? So a lot of times my psychology may be, like my mental psychology may be more highlighted. I could have events related to hospitalization or being like a hermit in the house, or what else is related to 12th house? Mental institutions, prisons. I didn't have any of those things today. But yeah. So that's how I would look at it. Is I would look and I would say, okay, where is the moon at in my birth chart? Okay, well, what does that relate to? Well, I know the moon is related to emotions, right? And I know the 12th house is related to what I just told you guys it was related to. So I would kind of combine those together and I would think, okay, well, maybe this is some things that I could be looking into. And honestly, a lot of times when it comes to following the moon, you're not going to always understand what it means that day. Like, that's not how it always works. But you can start to see patterns, which I like to like journal with the moon. So I could go back through at older journal prompts, or I like to also do video diaries. And I can go back to my old video diaries and I can see, okay, well, on this day when the moon was in the exact same position, this is what I was going through. This is what I was thinking about. And so you can start to see the patterns, right? Correlational. You can start to see the patterns of what's happening in your own personal life. So that's one way that I use astrology in like my everyday life. I also like to journal with it as well. So if, again, because I told you guys I'm proficient, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to y'all like I don't look at this stuff all the time. Hey Rika, how you doing? So I like literally I'll look up 12th house meaning, right? On Google. And 12th house is the unconscious, hidden things, spirituality, self-undoing. It can relate to dreams, new cycles, karma, being by yourself, institutions, isolation, spiritual services, all these things. It can mean so much, honestly. I'm so productive. What makes you say that? Also, a lot of times things that are unseen. So what I would do is I would tell and I would say, okay, the moon is my emotions. The 12th house are things that are unseen. And I would just, here's a journal prompt. What are some things that I'm not seeing about my emotions? And I will sometimes, not all the time, y'all, not all the time, not all the time, but sometimes I'll go through and I'll journal and make my own journal prompts just like that. Based off of my birth chart and the transits, that's what they call when the planets move around your birth chart. Because you have your natal, which is already inside, and you have transits that are on the outside, they move around. So that's how I will like journal sometimes as well. Just so I can, again, see some patterns, see what I'm not seeing, especially if it's in the 12th house, there's going to be some things that I'm not seeing. It's just inevitable, right? I might journal about enemies if I feel like I had enemies, which I don't have enemies. What do I have? Because I feel like when you say enemies, that means that they on your level. And I don't really have enemies. I have oppositions. I don't know. How would you say it? I have oppositions. I have people who I don't like. I have ops. That's what I got. So I wouldn't say too much enemies because it's not too many people on my level. But I do got the ops. I might journal about the ops. Who knows? But that's like a couple of the things that I would do in my everyday life using astrology. Now again, I think a lot of people are kind of like, they think astrology is evil. Most of the people on my channel probably won't think that, but I do feel like there is some people out there who like be thinking like that, and I'll be like, so you telling me the planets in the sky are evil and measuring how they move around compared to the day you was born is evil? I don't know, y'all. I just be like, some stuff I don't be understanding. I like, what's going on? Hey, Diego, how are you? But yeah, exactly, John. People fear what they don't understand. John, I'm gonna tell you a story later. Let me tell you how your nephew had me stressed out. Stressed the fudge out. So that's like one way that I use astrology. And I actually just went out of town and I used astrology to decide what place I was gonna go to. Which is actually funny because one thing about astrology is, again, it's correlational. And this was a place that I already wanted to go to, but I didn't know that astrology was already aligned for me to go there. Does that make sense, y'all? Does that make sense? Let me tell y'all how. So I use astrocartography to choose my traveling destination, right? So I'll show y'all like an astrocartography chart real quick so y'all can see what that looks like. So you can use it on different countries, or you can use it like on the whole world. So this is going to look like a lot for people who are not into it. It's to be learned, right? It's to be learned. So this is an astrocartography chart. Now for me, I'm not traveling outside of America, so I just zoomed in to America, to the area that I lived in. And just because you live in an area does not mean there's going to be lines. I was looking at my cousin's astrocartography, and one of my cousins, she didn't have a lot of her lines in America. My other cousin had a lot of lines in America. Me, I have a lot of lines in America. So just because there's lines everywhere doesn't mean that your lines are going to be where you were born or even just in America. So basically what I did is I chose an area close to me in the city that was close to me that had lines, which was my Uranus line. If you know anything about Uranus, y'all, and again, astrology is just symbolism. Symbolic is very symbolic, y'all. So if you know anything about Uranus, y'all, it's the unexpected. Like, that's unexpected energy. It's going to feel more chaotic depending, and it could be related to technology, intervention. It's a lot of things that it could be related to, y'all. But personally, I grew up where I'm from. The line, you can kind of see that lines are straight, right? So where I'm from, it's close. It's not exactly on my Uranus line, but it's close to my Uranus line. So I grew up with that energy already, but where I was visiting is right exactly on my Uranus line, right? And for me, I'm able to take this chart right here, and I'm able to take, oh, did I already? Let me see. I'm able to take my birth chart as well. You can't really see them, but I'm able to take my birth chart and decipher them. Again, I also know like the wording, how to word it. So I use Google Gemini. I think Google Gemini is better than ChatGPT when doing this, honestly. But I could use that language, go to Google Gemini, and I'm like, hey, I hope I don't lose y'all when I start speaking like this, right? But I'm like, hey, okay, so my Uranus is in Aquarius in my 9th house, conjunct my MC, and I'm traveling to my MC Uranus line on astrocartography. What does that mean? Right? So I can use that language, put it into Google Gemini, and Google Gemini will give me all the information back. So they'll define MC line, they'll go through and they'll talk about what Uranus in the 9th house means and what that means in my birth chart and how that will relate to me if I traveled there. And so I just went there, right? And one thing I'm noticing, me traveling on my Uranus line, is things that are going to be unexpected. And growing up near my Uranus line, it wasn't exactly that close, but it was near where what state I lived in. I moved around a lot. Very much unexpected energy, very much all over the place, things to be unexpected. That was my childhood. So like security, like home, that's something I had to find, right? Because Uranus, correlational, remember, it was right there. So before I left, because I knew I was dealing with my Uranus line, and my biggest fear was like car situations and being stuck on the side of the road. Before I even left, I made sure to go get my car checked out, because I said I'm not dealing with none of this. I didn't have no issues. And then I ended up leaving. It was actually like little cabins. It was cute, like little glamping cabins. And I went with my little brother. And I took Red, y'all. I took my son Red, y'all. I'm telling you the story so y'all can know what's going on. So y'all can understand my experience on my Uranus line, because this was exactly on my Uranus line. And so basically, with this Uranus line, it is to give more insight on my career life, how I'm seen in the world, and as well on my education, like furthering education. Like those are some of the things. Like I'll give y'all an example of Google Gemini, how I would put it in and how it would talk back to me, right? Me using astrology in my everyday life. So I'm going to Google Gemini right now, and I'm gonna just talk because I don't feel like typing all of it. Google Gemini, please tell me, using astrocartography, traveling on my Uranus MC line, if my Uranus is in my 9th house of Aquarius conjunct my MC, and it is opposite my North Node in my natal chart in Leo in my 3rd house. What would that mean? So again, that's my astrology talk. Like, not everybody's going to understand everything that I just said, but that took me years to be able to use that language to talk about my birth chart, right? It didn't happen overnight. So we're going to go ahead and just do where's the summary? Summarize it, because ain't nobody got time to read all of this. Summarize. One paragraph. I'd be like, hold up. Just tell me what you see. Talking too much. So what it says is, traveling on this line will be high frequency, transformative experiences where your professional life and public reputation undergo rapid lightning bolt shifts towards total independence. Because your Uranus is in its home sign of Aquarius in the 9th house, this location empowers you to be a visionary leader or unconventional teacher. Through the opposition to your Leo North Node suggests that your ultimate success depends on balancing this detached global genius. Expect a breakthrough atmosphere where the old rules of your life are swept away to make room for a new calling that demands you to stand out as an authentic original. I mean, if y'all know me, that probably makes sense. But so traveling to this line, I didn't have any issues getting there. The stay was okay. But the unconventional randomness of Uranus happened the day that I was leaving. And so as me and my brother was leaving, getting our stuff to leave out of the cabin, son, come here. Y'all know he sleep. Come here. Come here. Okay, he don't want to get up. He don't want to get up. So anywho, y'all's nephew decided to leave the cabin as we were packing up and leaving. So all that to say that me and my brother spent over like 2 hours looking for him. I finally found him. He ran away from me because he was outside by this time. We outside, mind you, we in the wilderness, y'all. We went out to cabins. We were in the wilderness. I find him after 2.5 hours of looking for him, after we were been supposed to check out the room that we were in. And he runs underneath the cabin, y'all. So I literally had to spend an extra day there. I had to drop my brother off at home. Hello. I had to drop my brother off at home. So I had to drive 3 hours back to where we lived. And then I had to drive 3 hours back to the property, book another night. This is all unexpected. Book another night. And then find him the next day. Thank goodness I found him, y'all. I was going crazy. Y'all would, honestly, if I would have never found my son, y'all would have never seen me again. If I never found red, y'all would never see me again. I would go into a crazy depression. So anywho, I found him. Life's okay. Life is good. But I said all that to say that is, to me, Uranus energy, like unexpected. And I was in my mind thinking like, okay, you know, maybe it could mean just me having some type of career breakthrough. I don't know. But one thing I can say about what my whole entire birth chart says to me, if you study astrology, you can tell. I'm trying to be nosy. So anywho, if you study astrology, you can tell kind of what some of your life themes are. And mine personally, my life theme personally is spirituality, and being like practical spirituality and daily routines, spiritual daily routines, right? And so you can see that even within my Uranus line, I implemented lots of spirituality. Once I lost my son, y'all, I was like going through it mentally. I was like, oh my God, what if I never find him again? So I had to center myself. I prayed, I declared, decreed, I affirmed, I manifested, and then I did a lot of meditation the night before I was able to find him. Panic mode for sure. I did a lot of meditation, and it centered me and gave me the mindset of, okay, we're just gonna focus on the positivity, right? And so to me, that's what my Uranus is, right? It's all that Uranus, unconventional energy, but in how the world views me. And y'all see that if y'all be listening to me, a lot of the things that I say may be unconventional, especially the way that I teach certain stuff. It's not the way that you always hear it, but that is who I am to my core. Yes, Rico. Yeah, he traumatized both of us, y'all. He's traumatized, I'm traumatized. But the thing about it is also in that whole experience, I met new friends. There's a lot of people helping me look for him. He was scared. He was scared, y'all. When I ended up finding him, I was talking to this young lady sitting down, and we were just having a conversation. I think he heard my voice. He started meow, meow, meow. And I was like, did you hear that? So then we started looking. He was underneath the cabin. He was underneath the cabin, y'all. So I met a new friend. She was very helpful. I told her it was so ironic that she actually works in the same city that I live in. But she lives in she lives in a city like damn near an hour away, right? So I was like, okay, new friend. I told her we're going out for drinks on me, because if it was not for her, my son would have been lost. She helped me a lot. But also like just that whole experience, we got to see a lot of different people, interesting people, talk to different people. You know, when you in cabins like that, they all come from different areas. And it was just nice overall experience. I mean, besides my son getting lost, the whole experience was nice. And it really did bring me back down to earth. I was happy to go out and be in the night sky where you can see the actual stars. You can see all the stars in the sky. I was like, oh my God. I brought my telescope. My brother was helping me with the telescope because I don't know how to use it. And it's mine. It's sad, but I don't know how to use it that well. But my brother, he set up the telescope, so we was looking at the stars. I mean, not the stars, we was looking at the moon. So, yeah. She can get as many drinks as she want, baby. Run the tab up because you saved my baby. $100 worth of drinks. Shout out to you. You saved my baby. That's how I feel. So when we go out, I'm like, baby, do you want some food? You want an appetizer? Baby, I appreciate you. If it wasn't for you, I don't know what I would do. Y'all, when I tell y'all, we hugged. I told the lady I loved you. I said, I don't tell people this, girl, but I love you so much, girl. I said, this lady is so intelligent. Thank you so much. She was there by herself, too. So I was like, this type of people I like to be around. Because if my brother didn't go with me, I would have went by myself. So I would have met her regardless. We would have had a cool time. we probably wouldn't have the telescope. I would have brought it and tried to set it up, but that telescope, it's a little hard to use. It was definitely meant to happen. It was definitely meant to happen. And she had said something, because y'all know I'm a Pisces moon. She's a Pisces sun, and my brother's a Pisces sun. So we was like, and the moon was in Pisces that same day. Astrology, y'all, that's how I'll be looking at, using astrology to look at stuff. But all that Pisces energy, it's like, oh, look at that. The moon was in Pisces. So yeah, y'all, my son traumatized me. He traumatized himself. When we came home, he went outside. He came back in the house quicker than he ever did before. You know, and when he go outside, he likes to be outside all day. I wouldn't say all day, but he likes to come in and out, you know. But he came back up them stairs quicker than he ever do. I said, oh, look at you, buddy. So anywho, that's how I use astrology. And also, I do plan to move in the next couple of years. And I'm going to, again, the fun fact about all of this is that the area that I want to move to is an area that I subconsciously already wanted to move to. Or consciously wanted to move to. I just didn't know the exact city. But looking at the city that I'm going to move to, there's multiple lines that go directly across both my moon sign and my Mercury sign, which I'm a Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. My moon is at the top of my chart. And it's directly related to my career, how I'm viewed in this world. And I also love to write. So I'm like, I want to move there and write more often. And I feel like looking at that direct crossing in that direct city, which I already wanted to move to that area, is like, okay, well, that's exactly where I'm going to move to. And it's a large city anyway. It's not like some random city. But the city that I traveled to is kind of the same thing. So like at the beginning of this year, I think it was at the beginning of this year, I wanted to go to a cabin to travel and do like a vacation. And I had just so happened to find this cabin. It was like in my budget and everything. It's really cheap, honestly. But it's very personal. It's just like you go in, there's like a mini fridge and a bed. Like that's how big it is, right? And you get a desk. Some of them, they got desk, mini fridge, bed, right? So I already was like, I want to go here. And then for some odd reason, I just completely forgot the name. I forgot exactly. I never even looked at where it was. And so I tried to search for it for a while and I could not find it. So then when I was going and using astrology and using my Uranus line, because that's one of the closest lines I've traveling to, I was able to look and be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna travel to either this city or this city. And when I was looking at the cabins in that area, boom, the same place that I've been wanting to go to is literally directly on the line. So I believe that most of the time, we already are spiritually led to these places, but we just don't have the astrocartography to be like, oh, this, and this, right? Like even when I was looking at my cousin's astrocartography chart, a lot of the places that lines go directly over, they've already traveled to, right? And me too. Like some of those lines I've already traveled to in my life. And I will say, like, another way that I use astrocartography and astrology, all those things, like looking at where people are from. Because even though they may not purposely manifest in this way and act in this way, there will be a way that I perceive these people. Or I may have certain type of interactions with these people, but if I look at my astrocartography chart compared to my birth chart, I will see these are some of the lessons that this person is showing me in this lifetime. Y'all know? So that's another way that I sometimes use astrology and astrocartography, not just looking at what they call a synastry chart, looking at a synastry chart and comparing other people's information to mine to see how we're reacting to each other and engaging with each other. But I'll use that and I'll be like, okay, well, this person is from, let's say, North Dakota. Okay, I go see there's actually a line in North Dakota. What does this line mean for me? And I think, okay, this is how this person is showing up. Like I have this one city that I've been to, it's San Antonio. I've been to San Antonio many times in my lifetime. And every time I go to San Antonio, it's never like bad, but it's never like good, you know? And so I've had many experiences, and like my earliest experiences was going there to go to SeaWorld. And I don't really like the zoo or like animals in captivity, you know. And I don't really like the smell of animals, like walking in those like areas. I don't, it's just not me, right? So like those are some of my earliest memories. I've had like friendship breakups with people from San Antonio. It is very sad, very, very sad. I felt certain types of neglected and betrayed from people from San Antonio. And even like with my apartment situation, I was having an apartment situation, which I just gave up on because I said I'm moving, so who cares? And the apartment manager is from San Antonio. Not the, well, the supervisor of the manager is from San Antonio. And like it was a sense of, okay, this bitch giving up on bitches who are neglectful. That's kind of how I just see it. And so when it comes to San Antonio, I don't know. Every time I experience people from San Antonio are going there, or, you know, those things, I'm experiencing neglect, you know, betrayals and things like that. So let me see. I forgot what crossed through San Antonio. Let me look real quick so I can tell y'all what it is in my birth chart. So yeah, that's kind of like how I use astrology every day. And again, these are things that I've learned over time. It didn't come overnight. But if you can learn the language of astrology, that's what's really going to put you on game. What's my email address for this? Why you don't just put the email address in there? I mean, the password in there. What's the password? The Spurs suck anyway. Is that San Antonio? You know I don't know nothing about games. What is that, basketball? I don't know nothing about basketball. That's basketball. Dang, I don't know if I'm able to find it. My password so I can log into this. I'm just gonna have to put the information in. Yeah, I wish I could hear my son snoring. Oh, maybe Google Gemini has it. Let me see if Google Gemini has it. Oh, he is snoring like a cat. Hopefully Google Gemini has it because I sent it here. So I don't have to look it up. Here it is. So San Antonio goes through a couple of lines. My North Node and my Chiron. Yeah, long journey. No, for real. Now he's stretching. Now he be stressing me out. He's stressing me out. So my North Node and my Chiron, right? So I will look at that, right? Again, I'm not a professional. I don't know all this by memory, but I know the language, so I can take that language, put it into Google Gemini, and Google Gemini would tell me, right? So let me see. Did I already ask Google Gemini? Let's see if I already asked. No. Let me see. Chiron. What is that? Chiron what? DS. Let me just say it out loud. Both my Chiron DS and my North Node IC cross in San Antonio. And my Chiron DS is in my 6th house of Scorpio. And my North Node IC is in my 3rd house of Leo. What does that mean? So again, this is how I do it every day. Oh, let me make sure Google not taking all that information. I was saying, okay. So this is how I do it every day. Not every day, but when I do use this information. So let me see. Okay, we're going to tell it to summarize it again. One paragraph. Y'all know how AI want to do. Want to give you the whole book. Anybody ask for the whole book. Just give me one paragraph. Okay. So it said powerful zone for fated healing and soulful communication. You will likely encounter intense people or work situations that trigger deep personal growth, ultimately pushing you to find your personal self and speak your truth within your local community or home life. It isn't necessarily a vacation vibe, but rather a transformative destiny spot where your daily routines and relationships serve the higher purpose of helping you reclaim your voice and emotional security, right? So that's very, basic information. But I will say personally, with my own experiences going to that exact city, I wouldn't exactly be like, oh, my voice. I've always just been like, these people are inconsiderate. I did have to, after going to that city one time to visit a old friend. This person is no longer my friend because I had to eventually speak up and say, I don't want to be friends with you anymore, things like that. So again, you get these experiences, very transformative, because there's not many people who I've been like, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. So if I've experienced something to where I've had to get to that point, that means it's very serious. That means a lot, right? So, I went through a lot before I said, I don't want to be friends with you no more. I tried to give her a chance. No more giving these whole chances. But very much transformative experience, because I was like, wow. I knew it wasn't me personally. It's who this person is. It wasn't anything taken against me personally, but it was just like, this is how you act. I used to have an aunt who lived in San Antonio. We visited her one time. And I don't really remember. I can't really remember that experience. I just remember visiting her when I was younger. But I feel like I had to sleep on the floor or on the couch. So that's damn near betrayal. I don't know. I'm playing. But like I said, like, you have different experiences with places, people, and things, not always understanding how they connect. But there are things out there like astrology and astrocartography that will highlight some of this stuff for you and be like, all you have to do is, I would say, put the picture in AI, because AI it doesn't really read that stuff. The symbols are really small. So that's why I always just talk to it. And I say, hey, Saturn conjunct is away in my first house of, right? And I say, what does that mean? And it can go through and it can break down individual, each one of those things. You can read the breakdown and you can find your own way to put it together, or you can have it put it together for you. I didn't talk about this, but I use numerology as well in my everyday life. So numerology is not astrology, and it's not aura or anything like that. But I've had some very interesting experiences in my past. I used to live in an apartment, and the apartment number equal to 5, and it was the worst experience ever. But then you look at people who talk about living in 5s, living in homes that equal to 5, apartments that equal to 5, and literally they say the same stuff. You said you've been seeing 222 and 444. What's about to happen? I love that for you. Hey, Haywood, how are you? How are you doing? So, like, I used to live in an apartment that equal to 5, worst experience ever. But I also lived in an apartment that equal to 8. Great experience. So when I was deciding where I was going to move to, one of the things, every time I move, it's different requirements that I have. But one of my requirements that I wanted to live in an apartment that equal to 8. Me personally, I'm a life path 4. The past few apartments that I've lived in were 6. Like the what I live in now is a 6 apartment. And the apartment that I lived in before now was a 6 apartment. So I feel like apartment numbers that do well for me are like 6, which is very like cool, calm. 4, which I don't think I've ever lived in a 4 apartment. Yeah, and there was a lot of changes, John. It was terrible. It's kind of feel like Uranus energy. But yeah, I've never lived in a 4 apartment, which I would be interested to see what that will be like because I am a life path 4. But I lived in an 8 apartment, and I remember that was during the vid. Y'all remember that? And my rent was paid for a whole year because of the vid, and I was able to just chill. And so I really want that energy back again. And I'm not saying that's exactly because I live in an 8 apartment, but 8 is an abundant number. Like John said, it's abundance, but I also see 8 as work manifested. What you've been working towards has manifested. Like, let me see, numerology. And sometimes I'll even take the whole street. I'll take the whole street and I'll get all the numbers, break down the letters correlated to the numbers, and I'll add it all up. So I know the numbers that I'm moving to, the new apartment that I'm moving to, it equals to a 3, which is creativity. And then also the apartment number equals to an 8. So that's how I use, like, I'm really putting y'all onto some spiritual tips, honestly. So let me see. Let's just give me the house number. Thank you to whoever does the work so we can just read it. Thank you so much. Just want to read it. Okay, so I told you guys I live in a 5 house. So they say that it means the adventure awaits. It says if you crave excitement and trying new things, a house number 5 is calling your name. This home is all about adventure, freedom, and embracing change. Get ready for a wild ride. A wild ride. And when I lived in that apartment, when I first moved in, the oven was broke. It was just a chaotic experience moving in to begin with. John, you said you're a life path 6. Do you live in a house or an apartment? Either way, it don't really matter. What is the number on the place that you live? What is it equal to? So, like, I moved to this apartment. It was already chaotic move, honestly. And then when I did eventually live there, I had my apartment flooded because it was a storm. My apartment flooded. They came in eventually, like after like a couple of days, and I had to go to the office and tell them after I had already requested them to fix it on the app. They never came, so I had to go in the office and ask them to come and fix it. After that, I think because of that mold build up from the flood in my apartment, I developed an allergy histamine issue. This is all living in this one apartment. And I thought it was bed bugs. So they came and checked if my apartment had bed bugs. They was like, yo, apartment don't have bed bugs. But I'm like, why do I keep having these symptoms? I didn't realize it was histamine problems. I thought it was bed bugs. No, the oven was broke when I first moved in. They fixed it. The oven itself, I don't think it was something on the oven that was broke. I can't remember. It was so long ago. This was like 3 or 4 years ago at this point. It was a while ago. But something about the oven was broke. There was a lot of things going on. It wasn't a terrible apartment itself. It was just the way that they prepared it. Like, what the heck? Anywho, so eventually they allowed me to break my lease because I was having so many issues in that apartment. And I only lived there for like July, August, September. I lived there for like 2 or 3 months, y'all. I had a whole year lease. I lived there for like 2 or 3 months. I had so many issues within those first couple of months that I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. They allowed me to move and break my lease. So that was the number 5. And that's why I said I will never live in a number 5 again because it was just so chaotic. So I've been living in a lot of 6 apartments lately. I've lived in like 2 6 apartments. And they said house number 6 is all about love, family, and taking care of each other. It's a warm and welcoming space for creating a loving home. If family and community are your top priorities, this could be your sanctuary. I don't know. I wouldn't say my whole life has been about family. Like, I would say community. Yeah, community building. I've been around great people. Cool. But 6s always just kind of felt mellow to me. Like, I was able to survive. I was living, enjoying life in a 6 apartment. This apartment and my previous apartment, that's how I kind of felt. You know, I was building some relationships. I will say these past couple of years, I've been really in the mindset of relationship oriented, and not like romantic, but like friends and stuff like that, building my community. So I will say that do make sense. And so house number 8, which is, I'm about to move into a house number 8, and I've lived in a 8 home before, or an apartment, really not a home. But 8 is all about abundance, success, and financial gain. It's a power place for crushing your goals and getting what you want. If you're driven and ambitious, this could be your lucky number. So me living in an 8 before, knowing how much life was amazing, I'm like, I'm ready to get back into the 8 again. So again, this is how I chose what apartment I was going to live in. I also wanted something that would face towards the sun. I didn't get exactly like the sunrise, which I wanted, so I can get more sunrise light, because we've been talking a lot about that. But I think based on the area, I might be able to, depending, I don't know. But I definitely chose, I was like, you know what? I'm ready. I'm ready. So I use all of this stuff. And I know for some people, they'd be like, oh my God, I wouldn't even be able to use all of this. Has 1804. So let me see. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's a 4. You live in a 4 house? I don't think I did that right. I think I did do that right. That's, yeah, 13. 13 is a number within itself. But 4 is the solid foundation. This is a home of being grounded, practical, and hardworking. It's a stable space for building something that lasts. If you value security and order, a house number 4 can be a great match. And then you said, see what they do is sometimes they will mess things in the apartment up themselves, trying to scare tenants away. What? Who do that? Why would they do that? That's crazy. I feel like this website is not giving me all the information I want. I feel like that information was just very basic. A chair has 4 legs. Exactly. Exactly. So we're going to look at Google Gemini. So it says house is 4. The with a 4 house can feel a bit heavy, or all work and no play, and critical maintenance. Well then, so that's a 4 house. 5 house, like I was telling you guys, the vibe is change, movement, and freedom. Best for frequent travelers, which I understand because that I traveled more, because I wouldn't have to be at that house dealing with all them problems. It's best for socialites and people who hate routines. It's best for people who don't want to be in the house, because if you're in the house all day, it's going to be chaotic. Okay. The challenge is it can feel chaotic, not the best home for finding long-term stillness or quiet time. Yeah. If you live in a 5 house, you better get to traveling. Get out the house, or you're going to have problems. John, you want to move? Yeah. Look into Astrocartography, see if any of those places align. He says, crazy, but I know a girl who worked at an apartment complex, and she said they do that so they can fix them up and move their friends or family in there. Girl, what? So why would you tell it to me to begin with? Why would you tell me that was there and let me move in that apartment? Why would you do that? That's crazy. There's people outside talking. So like the 6 again is a house of nurturing. The vibe is love, beauty, and responsibility. Me, thanks. Best for growing families and those who love gardening or decorating. It's the homiest house. I don't know. I will say, this is home. I don't know, like homiest house. I don't know, just maybe because my birthday is 6. I don't know, I'm just used to it. I was born June 6th. That's 6/6. I'm just all full of 6s, so cool. I don't know, maybe I'm used to it. The challenge is you spend too much time taking care of others and forget your own needs. I don't know. I don't know about this number 6. I'm not worried about nobody else but me. Maybe that's just a me thing. Number 8, the house of abundance. Again, success, power, material wealth. best for career-driven individuals and those looking to build financial legacies. The challenge is it requires high energy and focus. Everything is big in an 8th house, including the bills. I will say, moving into this 8th house, my previous 8th house, it was a studio apartment. I was young. I was what, like 21? So it was definitely new bills because it was my first apartment by myself. But also with the 8th house that I'm moving into, the 8th house that I'm moving into, my bills will be a little bit more expensive, but it's worth it to be where I want to be. You say your birthday is on the 16th, so that means that's a 7 altogether. But I don't really know all of the numbers that go with like the numerology. Like I know your life path number, but I think they have different numbers for like the day you was born on too. But I just know the life path number. And the numbers that I see frequently is 4. I was born on a 4. When I had my spiritual awakening, it was 444. And then my birthday is a 6 as well. So those are the numbers that I see like in my life that are large numbers for me. My year is 88. Let me see. You might as well just give me the birthday. I'll give you all the information now. You told me you was a life path 6. What was you? I know you're a Scorpio moon. I don't remember your sun. But okay, so that was astrology and numerology, just in case anybody else is interested in doing stuff like that. Or maybe, oh yeah, duh. So, or maybe you are interested, but you just don't know it. Just reach out to me. Like, that's the type of stuff that I would love to help people think about. If you're thinking about traveling and you want to know where you should travel to, ask me. I don't mind giving you a quick little 1-2, you know. Especially if you're interested in really expressing a part of you that you feel like is not expressing itself, which is the reason why I use this type of stuff, because when I feel like there's certain things not being expressed, I like to look more into that. So for instance, with me moving into an 8 apartment, I'm like, okay, I know that there's abundances that for some reason I'm not reaching yet. Maybe it's because I'm too comfortable. I've been living in 6 homes. I'm too comfortable. I don't know. But I'm like, okay, well, I want those abundances to manifest. 8 symbolizes manifestation of abundances. Let me go ahead and do that, you know? So it's one of those things where you have to think about the ends first. Like, what do you want? And then look at the means to the ends. Like, if you know what you want, let's say you want better relationships. Okay, well, you can look into your birth chart in the house where relationships are more present, or in the signs where relationship is more present. Then you can say, well, this is where that is. Okay, well, where can I go and express better relationships? You can go and look at your astrocartography chart, use those exact lines, and know, okay, this is where I can go and express better relationships. Or this is where I can learn at least to express better relationships. That's, you know, what it is. Okay. Exactly, John. John said you was, let me see. So yeah. So that was like astrology wise. When it comes to auras, I've been really thinking a lot about auras. Well, let me make sure I say everything with astrology first before I move on. And numerology. It's really up to you. Again, like John said, the answers are there if you know where to look. You kind of really have to know the ends to the means that you're looking for. And you can find that in different ways. But for me personally, I look at it through astrology, the transits of the planet. I remember I was talking to someone who I had just met, and they had Uranus transiting through a particular house. Have I ever used an astrology app? Yeah, for sure. I don't usually use them now because I just don't. I prefer to just look at my birth chart, my astrocartography chart, and use Google Gemini. But I definitely have. Like, there's a few that I've used. But yeah. But like I was saying, they had Uranus traveling through a different house in their birth chart. And right when Uranus crossed in that house, I think it was through their third house. And I think third house relates to like travel vehicles and stuff like that. At least theirs did. And they ended up getting into a car accident. But they got into a car accident because they had experienced a life-changing event. So, because their mind was focused on that life-changing event, and then they got into a car accident. So you see like how those things kind of be adding up. When you know what things symbolize, you just know it add up. You know, I'll be like, I see what you did there. I see what's going on. But a lot of people don't see it. Again, it's correlational, so it's, you know. But yeah, y'all. Not they promoting Deleon tequila. Not they promoting Diddy's tequila on the astrology, Astro Dentist. No, this is Astro Seek. Anywho. So the astrology websites that I use personally is astroseek.com and Astro Dentist. I think I'm saying that right. I don't know for sure. Astro Dienst. Astro Dienst. I don't know how you pronounce it. But it's just astro.com. On astro.com is where I have everybody who I know and that my whole entire life's birth chart. AstroSeek, I typically use that for the moon transits. To know where the moon is. I literally have it on my phone, so I'll just click on it and I'll be able to see where the moon is in on certain days. Yeah. And I think I kind of went into it, but again, when the moon is in, I don't just try to manifest random stuff all the time. I used to do it more often, and I think that's a part of the spiritual routines. I need to really get more like secure and stable routines of like manifesting with the moon more often. But I mean, I do kind of do different stuff. It just depends on how I feel. I might journal, which is a form of manifestation. You know, that's being expressed is a form of manifestation, right? So when it comes to the moon sign, like for instance, if I know that I want to manifest something in regards to school, I'll probably wait until the moon is in my 9th house or my 3rd house, because 9th house is related to higher education. 3rd house is related to like everyday lower education, elementary, middle school, high school, right? So let's say if you wanted to go to college, once that moon is in your 9th house, or even if the moon is in Sagittarius, you know, it just depends. That's when you want to start manifesting. That's how I would think it'd be the most logical thing to do, because correlationally, I don't know if that's a word. Anywho, to correlate, there's a correlation between the two, right? And it's just better for you to just know, well, I already have supporting energy already here, so why not focus on this area of my life, what I want. The same like with losing weight. Like if I wanted to lose weight, I might focus on it more and try to manifest it, visualize that more when the moon is in my 1st house. It's a word now. Exactly, y'all. Exactly, y'all. Y'all want me to look at anything with y'all's with astrocartography or astrology? Y'all got any questions with that? Y'all know I'll answer it. Y'all know I'll answer it. Y'all let me know, Rico and John, if y'all want me to look into anything for y'all. Or even like moving. If y'all want to put in the chat and delete it, it's up to y'all. If not, that's okay. But going back into auras. Now, mind you, when I moved into the apartment that I live in now, I did not use numerology. I did not use astrocartography. What I did, like for all of my previous apartments, honestly, I really didn't use that. I started to implement numerology with the home that I live in when I moved into that 5 house. When I moved into that 5 house, I said, you know what? I'm never going to experience this again. You won't see me in a 5 house ever again with this bullshit. That's how I felt. So once I experienced that, that's when I for sure said I'm going to start paying attention to that numerology. I said I never want to experience this ever again in my whole entire life. So, you know, previous to that, the way that I found apartments was going to go look at apartments and being able to say, okay, this has all of the physical things that I want. So that's the astrology. If y'all wanted me to look into anything, y'all let me know. But I'm going to go ahead and start talking about like some aura stuff. Because I know a lot of people are interested in the aura talk. Aura's cool to me. Like I was telling y'all, I was going to go get an aura picture. And I'm going to still have to go get me one. I don't know when. I'm going to have to go figure it out when to get it. But I was wanting to get an aura picture when I went to the city. Because they had like the metaphysical shop. It was like maybe like 40 minutes away from where I went. They had an aura photo thing. So I was like, I'm going to go get one from there. It didn't end up happening because my cats got lost. But I do plan on going back there in February. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go and get one in February. So maybe I can just wait until then. Who knows, y'all. But, so like I was showing y'all earlier, my aura picture. This is from years ago. Like this is from 2021 and 2020. 2021. You can tell because I got a mask on. Your aura color is purple, right? It's more like magenta, blue, white. And then this one is like red, magenta, yellow, blue, and white. So your aura is not going to always be the same. But like if you look at this, so I have a picture right on my computer right here on the Facebook. This picture right here that gives you all the information on different colors and what they mean. That, yeah, like a magenta blue, the mask one. Yes. And a little white and some whites. So when you take an aura picture, like the first time I got an aura picture taken, they had people who explain what it meant. So they read it. The lady was telling me I don't know how she saw it, but I don't know. I'm not the one reading the aura picture. She told me how many angels she saw around me. And she said it was, I don't know, it was a lot of angels. So I don't know. Look like cotton candy, delectable, right? So if you look at this picture, it says magenta means independent, non-conformist, big-hearted, artistic, funny, fun-loving. To me. White is purity, oneness with higher self, self-mastery, spiritually motivated, and cosmic wisdom. I'm that girl. And then turquoise, which is, I don't know, would y'all consider this turquoise or blue? Turquoise is teacher, speaker, healer, confident in knowledge, ready to be seen as a leader. I don't know. Sounds like me. So I think that this may just be my overall energy altogether with the aura. Blue itself, I mean, it's a mixture of a whole bunch of colors, honestly. Y'all, it's a mixture of a whole bunch of colors, y'all. Blue itself means tranquility, intuition, devotion, loyalty, wisdom, empathy. But I think mine is more turquoise. Exactly, John. You never know. Yeah. But the thing about auras, I was looking at aura stuff earlier because you know the chakras, right? So y'all know the chakras. Let's show y'all a picture. the chakras emanate these colors, right? So even then you can tell which chakras are more activated. You see my magenta and my blue, my throat chakra, my crown chakra are probably a lot more activated than other people's, right? And then that white is a little bit beyond, I believe, these chakras. But in real time, like, let me see. Color, spectrum, wavelengths. In real time, you can see that real science measures color. Literally, real science measure colors, and it goes in the same way that the chakra colors go. Right, it goes from Roy G. Biv, right? Roy G. Biv, like a real rainbow, and definitely, most definitely, you ain't gotta worry about me. You ain't gotta worry about me. So, red is lower on that scale, like real science that when they measure the lights. Right, red is the lowest, purple is the highest, right? So that's why they be like, ground yourself. Red is a grounding, more stable. What is green? Like aura-wise, what does green mean aura-wise? Let me see. Green is peace, healing, harmony, charity, prosperity, and unconditional love. It symbolizes enthusiastic, optimistic growth and balance. But they have different types of greens. So the different types of green, they have pale green is spiritual leaning. Apple green is a healer. Iridescent is very sociable. Emerald is solving a problem. Jade is compassionate. And turquoise green is tough resolve. Interesting. There are people who see auras. I don't see auras though. I don't see auras. It's not something that I really had an interest in learning, but I do think all spiritual talents can be learned, especially if you're highly interested in it. I feel like if you are interested in it, it's probably best for you to learn it regardless, right? But earlier, let me see if I can go back to the conversation, because I was asking GPT about these colors, and it said something about the red versus the purple. Let me see. Okay, so y'all know we talked about like entropy and stuff like that, and how entropy is just like a measurement of the order of energy, how energy is ordered within the system. And like energy is very ordered within our body because we have like the systems in our body. To know what you mean. We used to be different skin colors in our true form. What you mean, like different colors, like on the rainbow, like yellow and blue and purple and green, like aliens? But okay, so we talked about entropy, right? And how we have low entropy is very ordered, organized in our body, and externally, when we release it, becomes high entropy. So what that means is it's very random, unorganized energy being released, like, and it's released through like heat and other things. One of the most things that is released through is heat, right? And so when you look at like how they measure light, how they discuss light, they talk about light being more like where's, I'm trying to figure out where they put it at on here, because it's so much on here that I was trying to understand through conversation. Okay, there he is. So the color red is a low frequency, which you could tell because it's the lowest as a chakra in on the color scale. But it has a lot of heat, right? Whereas the color violet is high frequency but it's low density, right? And you think about that, as you get into that red color, the energy becomes more compact. When you get into that purple color, the energy becomes more dispersed. So you can kind of tell, like, people who have more purplish energy are probably going to be more cosmic, more psychic beings, because their energy is focused up here and is more dispersed. And it will, to me, I would consider that more high entropy. Purple color is probably less organized energy. It's not condensed. But as you go lower in the human chakra, that energy becomes more condensed, solid, and put together as you look at red, right? So even looking at people's aura, if you can see where are they more focused at in their body. If their aura is red, they're going to be more stable, grounded, even like you, I would think more athletic. They're going to be physically in their body, maybe love exercising daily. They're going to be more, they're going to be probably more focused on their physical body. Whereas someone whose chakras, their aura is more focused up here, that's the energy producing most, of that that entropy being released at your aura, whatever. You would think that, okay, they're going to be more psychic, they're going to be more focused on this. I hope y'all understand what I mean when I say that. But you can see where spirituality interferes and correlates to science. Hey, Killer Ken, you were born on September 6th, so you must be a Virgo as well. Hey, Virgo. I think that's Virgo. I think. So, that's why when you start thinking about the different foods that you eat. One time when I lived in that 5 apartment, hey JJ, welcome back. How you been? Why you keep changing your name, friend? So when I lived in that apartment, I was trying to manifest stability. Literally, I was trying to manifest stability. So what did I do? I did everything related to the root chakra. I surrounded myself with red pictures. When I would manifest and affirm, I would look at red images. I would eat red fruits. I would consume red things. I would put red clothes on. I would go outside and ground myself. Me personally, that's how I think spiritually. I'm like, okay, well, if this is what it's related to, this is what it symbolizes, let me go to what it symbolizes and let me go focus on that. That may be extreme to other people, but that's how I live spiritually when I'm like trying to get stuff done. I like to go to the source, right? But one thing about it is, y'all know, we've been, like, with the health conversation, we've been talking a lot about the sun. We've been talking a lot about the sun. We've been talking a lot about the symbolism with religions and stuff like that. And so I was reading, I have a whole bunch of books, and I was looking at them earlier. And my books they're about energy healing, body energy healing, hand energy healing. I have a lot of like astrology books, stuff like that. And I was looking into the chakra information that was giving me, and I realized, okay, this is alongside of my AI conversations that I was having about the aura, right? So let me start with the aura, right? So look into that. Like, we know that the sun is like a yellowish color, right? The sun is yellow. And what that directly relates to is your sacral chakra, right? Is that sacral? Solar chakra. Let me look. Let me make sure. Let me make sure so I'm not lying to you. I think it's solar chakra, not sacral. Sacral is orange. And solar is yellow. Yeah, solar plexus, right? So yellow sun correlates directly to your solar plexus. And what does solar plexus rule? I learned this in the book. Solar plexus rules your digestion, your stomach area. What does your stomach do? If y'all read my book, y'all know I talk about this a little bit in the book, right? Exactly, your gut. Your gut produces majority of the energy that you need. And your gut lining is being like, it takes like a week for it to be completely restored. Like, it's always, your body is always dying and giving of itself, just like the sun is always giving of itself. Your body is always giving off energy. We call that the aura, your electromagnetic field or whatever. But the same way that the sun provides all that energy is the same way that your gut, your solar plexus energy provides all the energy to your body. And it's majority, I would say, because I was asking ChatGPT, the way that I was asking it, I was like, okay, if we could look at a percentage of, how did I ask it? I want to be clear on how I asked the question, because I don't want to confuse myself. Because my mind be going in so many different ways. Oh, maybe it didn't note what I said because I don't see my conversation. Or maybe I didn't ask it. I don't know. No, maybe I didn't because I don't see it. Thank you, John. Thank you so much. Okay, so I don't think I asked that question. Maybe I was just thinking about it in my own mind. Who knows? But you have cellular turnover, which means your cells die and be recreated every single day. And of course, that energy is being released. So you have things dying and being released every day. So your skin is dying and being renewed. It takes like a month, 4 to 6 weeks for it to be completely renewed, right? So like literally, you're like a new person every 6 weeks, skin wise. But your gut, it takes 3 to 5 days for it to really recreate itself, right? With the cells dying and being recreated. And I mean, different cells and different types of cells, it takes them different lengths of time. With your bone cells, it takes the most time for it to be recreated. And your neurons takes the most time. Sometimes it takes a whole entire lifetime for it to be created. So when you think about that, you can kind of see like, okay, how is energy being produced? What is the main energy that you should be focused on supporting so that you can manifest what you want? That solar plexus energy. Why? Because it's the same as the sun. Like, it's basically our internal sun, providing us that internal energy. When you get that gut together, and you don't get that beer belly, when you get that gut together, you can really support majority of where energy is. If skin and gut lining are the quickest cells that are dying and being reborn, internal sun, yes. Skin and gut are the ones being like reborn, not reborn, but like created, like dying and created the quickest. So I asked ChatGPT what would be the percentage. Let's see if I can remember where it was. Because this was just a conversation I was asking. I was talking to myself earlier trying to understand some stuff. So let me see. Basically, what would be the percentage of like your aura? If that makes sense. Let me see. Because I just feel like, oh, here it is. Is this it? Why is this the only one? Maybe I don't know why I'm not finding it in this conversation. Is there like a whole different conversation I had this in? I don't know. Because why is it, oh, cell turnover, maybe it's this one. Maybe it's this one. I'm like, why is it not, this is not the conversation I remember. I had 2 different conversations, I guess. Here it is. So, okay. So your gut lining is about 40 to 45% of your daily cell turnover. So 40 to 45% of your cells are being majority recreated in your gut. So if you want to manifest more things, you want to start focusing on your gut health to get some of these things manifested. And when I say manifest, I say this with consistency, because it's not difficult to manifest. Most people who's into manifestation has manifested things to the T. But the problem with it is a consistency, That's why fasting is vital. Get you some more energy. Exactly. Consistency is key. And for me, someone who's manifested many things before, I manifested things and then like a week later or a month later, I'm like, you know what? I'm ready for the next thing. So it's better to just focus on consistent energy rather than manifesting random desires. So you can manifest that through your gut and your skin, because your skin is a second thing that is highly turned over in regards to the cell. Like your skin, again, it renews in 4 to 6 weeks because you have so many skin shells that are literally shedding every single day. So you want to focus on these things, improving these things. And the reason why I focus on cells is because as you get more cells, your cells can be reprogrammed. Not only are they programmed by the environment that they're placed in, but your thoughts, your consistent thoughts. So if you can focus on having the consistent thoughts for at least a week while your gut cells are being recreated, what's going to happen? You know, they talk about how habits are created within 21 plus days, but that kind of aligns to how long it takes for skin to recreate itself. So it's like, are you really just reprogramming those cells, or is it that it really takes your mind a month to get this habit in cart, you know, whatever. So, you know, this is the way my mind be thinking about stuff, because it's like, okay, program those cells. If you can program majority of those cells by just staying in a certain state of thoughts, you know, focusing on what you want for a long period of time, consistently staying in that mindset, then you become that aura, you express that energy, and you are a magnet, so you attract it as well. So that's the science of how I see it when it comes to manifestation and cell turnover and all those things, and aura and entropy and all those things. But yeah, that's my aura talk, y'all. That's what I was just thinking about. I was like, you know, we gotta have more just random conversations. And I like the idea of talking to you guys about like birth charts and stuff, because I really do use this stuff like daily. Transits, I like to look at it daily just to like see the correlation of what am I seeing. Exactly, John. What am I seeing in my real time every single day versus things that I'm experiencing? And there's sometimes where I don't go and look at the moon for a while, but then one day I'll be like, something, you know, I've been having a day. What's the moon doing today? And like last time I did that, I was like, I've been having a day. What's the moon doing today? It was a full moon in Gemini. I said, oh, me being a Gemini, I said, okay, that must be what it is. So the sun, and I was able to look and say, well, the sun is in this house, so it's highlighting this. The moon is in this house, so it's highlighting this. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's the why my mind is on this today. It's correlational. So yeah, y'all, like, yeah, if you ever really want to ground, put more red around you, but make it a solid red, like not a dark red, but like just a red that you feel comfortable with. It will support you in grounding. You want more courage, self-esteem, orange and yellow. You want happiness, or you want to be more intellectual, yellow from the moon. John, that's what you're talking about from the moon? Yes. That's why I be thinking if women's cycles are more based on the moon, or the symbology is moon, men have to be the sun. It is, the man has to be the sun, because, or what is man? Because I be thinking the man come from a woman, so could it really be the sun? Because I be like, okay, the sun changes positions every month, but the moon changes every damn day. I mean, the sun is moving every day, of course, but it changes the zodiac sign every month. The moon changes zodiac signs like every 2 to 3 days. That moon is moving, for sure. Exactly, John. Exactly. But you know, who knows what's going on in this world, the way they be doing stuff. But I was thinking, John, you say you want to come on here, John. When you want to come up here? You want to have a conversation? Or when you want to come up here? Let me know so I can know. You want to come up here next week or sometime throughout the week? Because I don't know. Can you add somebody right now? I don't know if you can do that. I learned how to do it though. I learned how to do it, but I think you have to do it before you get on live. Let me see. Yeah, I think you got to do it before you get on live. Let me see. What's this share button? Share with your audience. Oh, no. Oh, maybe I should start sharing the live more often. So, let me know, John. We come up here, have a whole conversation about whatever. You said the sun is a replica of our souls. Yes. And like even I was watching this show earlier. It was really a movie. It's called The Light of Man. Mind you, Tubi, y'all know I be on my Tubi stuff. That's all I really watch. Because I don't pay for any service. We can do okay next week. Okay, I'll put you on the schedule. I'm gonna make it to where it's 2 people who come up here. So I'll have John, you can come up here, whoever else wanna come up here, whenever y'all wanna come up here, y'all come up here, we can talk. I'm gonna say what, John, what you thinking? Sunday, Monday, I think whichever one, Sunday or Monday, whichever one, which one you want to do. But what was I just saying? Tubi, that's what I was talking about. Thank you, Rico. Monday, okay, Monday. So Tubi has a lot of spiritual movies. I was watching one movie. It was a documentary. It was called State of Mind. State of Mind. Something about control. Let me see. And it was talking about how the government controls us. State of Mind, the psychology of control. So yeah, it talks about how the government controls its citizens. Hey Damien, how you been, friend? You said all the best for 22. Every single one of you. May the new year bring nothing but happiness, prosperity, and success. Thank you, Damien. How you been, friend? So I watched that earlier, and I wasn't really all the way tapped into the movie. I was in and out paying attention to it, but it was some good stuff that I was hearing. A lot of people, it says that some of those people are conspiracy theorists, but if it makes sense, it makes sense. You know. The one that I was just watching is called Light of Man. So I was talking about God, and I thought that was so interesting. If y'all been with us and we been talking about health, I thought that was so interesting that the title of the movie was called Light of Man. And the author, I'm not the author, but the speaker, what do you call it? Like the person, the narrator, right? He was talking about how much he loves sunsets. There was a lot of symbolism, a lot of visions, there was a lot of pictures of the sun in the show. I mean, in the movie. I like how interesting. So that was a good movie. It was like a documentary as well, people talking. It's called Light of Man. I think it was in 2022. It talks about science, religion, history, spirituality, quantum physics, metaphysics, and the story behind God's relationship with man. You can watch it on YouTube as well. Situation is a bit complicated right now. Oh, friend, I hope everything works out for you. I hope you are relaxing and resting. Relaxing and resting, kicking your feet up. And breathing. Getting some breath work in for sure. Just relaxing and resting. Mind y'all, sun with astrocartography, we talked about health. I was watching some astrocartography YouTube videos, and people were talking about when they moved to their sun sign, they got healthy. So like, this one of the guys, he's an astrocartographer. He was working with a lady. Her sun sign was in Greece, I think it was. And she'd been to Greece many times before she knew that was her sun sign. But she said that when she was younger, when she first went to Greece, she had like some condition. And when she went there, the condition went away. She was young. So if y'all want health and wealth, not well, health and wealth not in regards to money, but wealth in regards to your health, move to your sun sign. Go travel to your sun sign. So depending, you never know. You really gotta look at your birth chart to see what's going on. But you came back home Christmas Day. How was that? They removed 10 lumps from the chest area. Lumps? Oh, friend. Oh, you came back from the hospital Christmas Day? Did you have any family, or did you come home by yourself? Hey, Cornbread, how are you? My holiday was well. You gotta rewind the video. You gotta watch the video from the beginning so you can hear how my holidays went. Mind y'all, I didn't say this specifically, but I spent Christmas at the cabin with my brother. And it was a really great Christmas, honestly. Besides the whole red situation. Oh, look at him. He right here. Come here. Bring that here, boy. This is the son that stressed me out. Look. He stressed me out. He was stressed out too. My baby been stressed out ever since we came back. I'm sorry, son. So anywho, he's not ever going on a trip with me again. The guy picked you up. That's good. I'm glad you had somebody to come and get you that you knew personally. So yeah, my ready baby, he's not going anywhere with me ever again. He's gonna have to stay home. Cause he do not be fucking with it. You need a pet? Get you a pet. Get you a little kitty cat. You know the purrs of the kitty cat are very healthy and very healing. Hey, GR. He said cats don't travel well, and he did not travel well. When he was a baby, he did. I never had any issues when he was a baby. But as an adult, he don't like traveling. So, yeah. So that Light of Man movie, I don't know if I finished it. I don't think I finished the movie. I don't think I did. I think I was watching it when I came in here. Or maybe I did. I don't know. Because it was like background noise. But I was tuning into some of it. One part I did hear this lady, she was talking about how a lot of people are becoming more spiritual. And the more people learn about science, a lot of people who learn more about science become less religious. Which is, I guess, the reason why a lot of religion had an issue with teaching science in schools, especially because I think that they knew that religion was a way to control the masses. But once you learn about science, a lot of people who learn about science, they're not as religious. She's a kitten. Aww. Aww. Yeah, Panther Ball was scary. You said cat, dog, parrot, no problem. Which one you gonna get, Damien? A dog is too much to handle. A cat is easier. I don't know about a parrot. I never had a parrot. With a cat, the cats don't bother you unless you get a kitten. Damien, if you get a cat, get an older cat. Don't get a kitten. You're gonna be ran loose all over the place. Bye, Damien. Hope you feel better. But yeah, so it was some interesting things that I heard when I was watching the movie, in and out of watching the movie at least. But that watching that movie, I think, is what really got my mind focused on the sacral. Why do I keep saying sacral? The solar chakra. That's when my mind was like, okay, solar chakra, sun, okay, health, wealth, gut lining. Recreated every 36 days. Health. So And the fact that green signals to healing, you eat your green foods, your healing foods. You get me? You got me? So yeah, I do need to kind of re-listen to this movie because I really kind of was like, I was trying to see if they were going to talk exactly about what we was talking about with health, with the symbolism and things like that. But I don't know if I just missed it or I wasn't paying attention or what. I didn't listen to all of it. But one thing I've been doing lately, when I watch movies, I go straight to ChatGPT and I be like, what is this movie talking about? Because it be some movies, I be like, what is going on? I'm trying to pay attention. I'm getting lost. Keep getting distracted. But when I put that phone down, then I don't have no more problems. But when I got that phone, baby, I don't know what's going on in this movie. Oh, that's another thing the guy was talking about. He was like, he's from Catholic religion. He grew up in a Catholic religion. But he said when he was younger, they used to say, from ashes we come from in ashes we go. He was like, but what if it's actually lights? From lights we come from, and lights we leave as. He was talking about how a lot of times when people die, they say the light left them. Some of the stuff you watch on Netflix, like what? What's some, Rico? Tell us the shows to watch on Netflix. So I think that's so interesting because without light, how would anything process through our system? So like I think John said the solar chakra was like, I don't know if you said the spirit or the soul. I forgot what you said. Let me see. Okay, if I can't find it, the sun is our soul. That's what you said. Soul. So yeah, it's all interconnected, but it's there. It's interconnected, but it's there. Seriously. Okay, speaking of John, the movie Soul, I did watch the movie Soul. I watched it when it like first came out like years ago. And if you watch that movie, for the people who haven't, there's a part of that movie where the black guy, I think it was a black guy, he was going back into that light. You know how they be like, when you die, don't go in the light, don't go to the light. He was going into the light. What y'all think that light was? I think it was the sun. He was going into the sun. What happens? You go into the sun, you get reincarnated, and the sun uses your energy and spit you back out. I don't know. That's what I thought when I was first watching the movie. I was like, this is so interesting that they're trying to tell us in so many ways that the sun, the light that you see is the sun, and you being reincarnated. I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Dark, but it just wasn't for me. I don't think I heard about that before. Dark, Netflix. Two children go missing in a small German town. Its sinful past. It exposed along with double lives. Mystery drama. Puzzles. Okay. And it's German. Guten Tag. Okay. Interesting. The light lures souls. Y'all know I was just watching Ashira. And she, on her spiritual channel, she likes to talk about a lot of metaphysical stuff. And she was just, I don't know, listening to her, honestly, I don't study metaphysics. So listening to her is like a hobby where I'll be like, okay, I don't understand what she's saying, but I'm listening, you know. The same way I feel listening to Ashira, I love listening to her. I don't always understand what she be saying, but I sit and I listen. It's the same way I expect people to when they listen to me, they may not completely always understand it, but I feel like I try to break it down. She try her best too, but she don't really be on that type of time now. She be more worried about her other channel where women are more worried about being in relationships, because that's the one that make her the most money. But her spiritual channel is T. That's the channel I started with. That's how I knew her originally, because I've always been on my spiritual, you know, journey. But she was talking about quantum reality, and she was talking about protons, neutrons, electrons, and the release of certain protons, and she was talking about astral traveling and making sure you got enough light. I was like, okay, I'm trying to stick with you, girl. Light travels. Yes, you said light, spark, energy, speed of light, visibility. What you mean? It's not bad, but I was half asleep looking at it. Oh. So I need to start looking at, I don't really study like metaphysics. Not, what is it called? Is it what is it called? Why my anomia be getting to me? We got physics. We got macro, micro, metaphysics. I don't think that's the word. Quantum physics, that's the word. She studies quantum physics. I don't study quantum physics, honestly, but I think that's what I'm gonna get into. I like to think about what I like to focus on. Thank you, Rico, because you knew. I love that. I like to focus on as above, so below, but I see as above as like I like to look into astrology. You know, I like to use actual physics. You know, we talked about the laws of the sun, and as below would be the body. But I also like to do it as the body versus cells. But she goes deeper into quantum physics, which is the below the cells, right? So me personally, it's not something I'm rushing into learning. But I do think as time goes, the more we have these conversations, I'll probably look into it more often and understand better what it is. But right now, I'm just not on the quantum physics. But I'm looking at this now when it's talking about light sources. Interactive diagram. What? Double slit experiment. I've actually heard about the double slit experiment. There's this movie that was on Gaia. That was a good movie. Let me see if I can find it. Whew. I watched it a long time ago. I think it was really the only movie that made me download it. I'm not gonna probably find it because I don't know. It's a lot of movies on Gaia. It's a lot. It's a lot of movies on there. Yeah, I'm about to get up off of here. I've been on here for a minute. And now I'm just getting over here, getting all into what's going on. I actually probably have gotten into a little bit of quantum physics before. I guess I have, because I know about the double slit experiment. I know about whatever that cat experiment was. I know about the observer effect. Maybe I have. I just don't be. I'm actually not even hungry. I'm not hungry today. I ate before I came on live, y'all. But I do need to cook. I need to cook so I can have lunch. Because if I don't have lunch, I start making bad decisions when it comes to food. I'm trying to get into eating more vegetables. And I've been trying to just eat me a little salad. The health conversation has come in handy. You know, January is coming up. That's the healthiest time of the year for everybody. That's when everybody want to go exercise. They want to, this is the new year, right? So I feel like I like the idea of this being the new year, because this is the time to start planting seeds mentally. Because once the new year actually comes, when the springtime, when things are being birthed and created, that's when you'll start seeing the seeds that you planted at the beginning of the year. This is time to start planting seeds. So I'm starting to You know, I'm starting to, you know, you say you gotta eat love. You know, I be eating, Rico. I ate already. Y'all ate already. Chill. Chill. You know, the vibe. We vibing. You said especially with hair. What you mean? John, you wanna know something crazy? Y'all wanna know something crazy? You said, I'm thinking the light is much more significant than we realize. Light is more multifaceted. Exactly. It really is. It really is. It comes in all colors. Color therapy, light therapy, they all a vibe. But yeah, I used to meal prep at the beginning of the year. And I stopped because I just got so tired of it. But I cannot afford to be eating out as much as I do. So I'm like, I gotta stop. So me and my bestie, we said we was gonna do a challenge for January. I said no drive-through food. She wanted to make it go the extra mile and say no desserts and no snacks. I said, bitch, why would you do that? Like, why would you do that? Like, she know I just bought me a 12-pack Bluebell ice cream in the refrigerator with 12-pack cookies. Like, why would you do that? But okay. So me and my bestie, we gonna do that for the month of January. We gonna see how that go. But y'all know I had that very stressful day with my son. That was what day was that? That was Saturday. It's Monday. That was Saturday. Bluebell is 10 out of 10. Saturday, I had that very stressful day with my son, right? Y'all, I said, I'm not going to go cook. I haven't had Olive Garden in a long time, y'all. I said, there's two things I can do. I can go to the grocery store and get the stuff so I can make zuppa Toscana soup. I love that soup. I can make it at home. Or I can go and buy it from the place and not have to cook nothing. So I said, I've had a long day. Me and my son been stressed out. I drove home that day. I went to Olive Garden. I got me a good meal. I got me a nice little tour of Italy. And I got me a nice little zuppa Toscana soup. Right? I was like, okay, we lit. Y'all, I dig into the zuppa Toscana soup. I said, life hates me. But thank God they refunded it to me. I called them up there. They refunded the food. But I think at this point, maybe it's a sign to stop eating out so much. So much money eating out is ridiculous. So I think I'm going to have to trade eating out to eating in and stop eating out so much. I actually don't even like eating out that much. It's not satisfying to me. Like, I actually am more satisfied when I eat my own meals at the house. And I could have made that. Like, I could have zuppa Toscana soup at home. I just didn't want to. So now what I did is when I went to the grocery store, I got all my stuff to make it at home. So I'm just making, that's what I'm gonna make tonight. Is some zuppa Toscana soup tonight. So I don't have to deal with nobody else's hair being my food. You know, I don't got time for it. It's starting to feel like I'm being punished for going out to eat. Exactly, John. I get enough hair with red. That's enough. I don't know about y'all, but that's 4 times in this past year. I think that somebody hates me. Is this somebody doing some type of mental magic on me, wishing destruction and chaos in my life? Who knows? Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. So, you know, I'm not going to be eating out in the month of January. Y'all won't be putting no hair in my food. And I'm just going to enjoy my January. I'm excited the most about saving all of my money that I usually spend eating out. At this point, John, that's what I'm telling you. I think it's somebody telling me, stop eating out. Your back is expanding. Your back is getting big and you keep eating out. Gee, I don't know what's going on. They can't be wearing the hair nets. Hair nets, girl, what? But I'm like, at this point, it's out of my hands. It's out of my hands. I can't do anything about it. But just continue to live life and not go there anymore. Like, it's like, y'all keep doing that. The only place that I'll go back to is Chick-fil-A. But Chick-fil-A, I don't even order their breakfast no more. After I had that situation happen, I don't even want to eat the breakfast. Like, it just made my stomach hurt. But what I was going back to, Chick-fil-A, she did her big one, because when I went back there and I complained, this is what she did. The whole hair situation taught me a lot about business as well. Because there's 4 different businesses. I had the same problem with 4 different businesses. And they all treated it differently. And the first business that I had that problem with, he refunded me. He refunded me the money. So I was like, okay, never coming back here anyway. But I got the money back. It wasn't even my money. Somebody else paid for the food. So I got my friend's money back. And then the second time, I think it was Chick-fil-A. And she refunded me my money. And then she gave me a free meal. She said, any meal you want. And I ended up trying a pretzel bread sandwich. And then I got addicted to the pretzel bread sandwich. So she did her due diligence, because she had me coming back to the Chick-fil-A. Because if it wasn't for that pretzel bread sandwich, I wouldn't be going back to that Chick-fil-A. And then I can't remember the third place that IHOP. I went in there. They just remade the food. Didn't refund me my money. I didn't ask for a refund anyway. But I was like, paying attention. Never going back to IHOP. You're not going to catch me at IHOP for a very long time. And then this recent place, what did they do? She refunded me the money. I was already at home by that time when I called them. Nah, she refunded me my money. I probably won't be going back there, but the place that refund you and then give you free food, that's how you're supposed to do it. That's how you keep them in the loop. When you mess up, you refund and give them free stuff. I would have been in there telling them about themselves. No, I mean, I worked in the food industry for so long. I know what it looked like back there. So I already know people be touching food with their bare hands. I already know, I already know. I remember when I worked at Arby's, I done seen my manager grab fries with her bare hands and put it, and put it in a bag. I've seen it, so I don't have, it's one of those things where it's like the rules of the land, you already know what's going on. Either you get with it or what else is it? Yeah, it was very nasty, but people do it all the time. You never know who's back there making your food. I got something for her. John is hilarious. Yuck. That's exactly. Let me look. Because I want to see that Soul picture, the Soul movie, going into the light. Because that part always, oh, look, somebody else made a video saying, update, do not go into the white light. It's a reincarnation soul trap. Somebody made a video about that. That's so funny. They bleach your soul. Really? What does that mean? They bleach your soul? Like, you become white? I don't want that. I remember when I first went to a psychic. When I first went to a psychic, y'all, I asked the psychic. Mind you, she was a white lady. She ended up being my favorite psychic, y'all. This is literally the first time I went to her. I was like, white lady. I was like, please, purification. Oh, okay. I was like, in my past life, was I white? I was so for real. I was younger. This would have to be like 5-6 years ago. I was younger. I was like, was I white? And she was like, you were. I said, no. I said, no. She said, you were. She said, you lived in this house, and the house burned down and your children was in the house and they died in the house. I said, oh no. That's probably why I never want to be white again. Then she said in the areas, she said I used to be a lot of different stuff. These are different occasions. Not all in one session. But I do believe her. Most of the things that she said about my life did come true. So I said, oh no. It's like resetting your soul. Oh, yeah. I guess so. Like John said, we different colors. We supposed to be different colors. Like in the Wicked movie. I never actually watched the Wicked movie, so I don't know much about that. But I know the girl is green. The girl is green, that's all I know. So yeah, y'all. It's been a cool little minute. I do want to come back on during the week, but I don't know. I might come back on during the week and just talk about some random stuff. Because I'm just starting to realize this is like my hobby channel for me to just come on here and talk. It's just like me doing hobbyish stuff. So y'all gonna see more random conversations. I did want to go and do some more gratitude work, but with resources. Let me tell y'all where my mind was going. With resources, right? Because as human beings, if we can focus our gratitude on resources, we can make it work with what we got, and we can improve on what we have, right? And a lot of times, a lot of people want to feed you a tool to fix your problems instead of working on improving the resources that you have. Because once you work with the resources and you figure out how to appreciate, have gratitude, and use your resources, then the tools are more automatic. So I was thinking about that. Like, let me see. I was using ChatGPT to come up with some gratitude prompts. So I might have some random little spurs of conversation where we're just talking about gratitude in regards to our resources. I feel like me personally working on that more often, just in my own everyday life. I wonder where I had this conversation at on ChatGPT. I be having so many conversations with ChatGPT all the time. And I'm the type of person, I hate when ChatGPT be trying to tell me what to do. I'm like, stop trying to tell me what to do. Who are you? Stop telling me what to do. But I'd be like, please do not use second person point of view when talking to me. Stop using that. You pissing me off. Like, oh, madam, you're so right. I should not do that. And I'm like, yeah, chill out. Yeah, I can't find it right now. I don't know where I had the conversation with the resources. Oh, maybe it's right here. I be having so many conversations. It's just ridiculous. It's not right here. Cool. Anywho, when y'all see it, y'all see it. When we talk about it, we'll talk about it. Hi, Tashika. Welcome back. Welcome back. I think you've been here before. So once we can start focusing on improving our resources, then we can start really working on the tools that it takes to improve the resources. But resources is always first. Like, money is resources. The sunlight is a resource. Water is a resource. Food is a resource. I'm doing well, baby. How you doing? Food is a resource. All these things are resources. So when we can start learning how to work with those and using those better, like even the meal sequencing, I've been using it more. And one thing I noticed is that with me eating like a little simple lettuce salad with a little bit of lemon, olive oil, and salt before eating my meals. I feel a lot more healthier. I actually don't be feeling hungry. Like last night I started doing it because, you know, I meal prep me a whole bunch of different containers of salad. So whenever I eat, I can just pour it and eat the salad, you know. And I realized usually when I go to bed, I be in bed thinking about food. I be like, late night snack. That's why I was telling y'all I'm not healthy, honestly. It be 10 o'clock at night and I be like, ooh, I need to eat something. Let me go eat a cookie. Let me go. Sometimes I'll eat seaweed, you know, it depends on what I'm feeling like that night. I'm like, let me go find something to eat, to snack on. But I wasn't thinking about food last night when I went to bed. I was able to just go to bed. So I was like, you know what? We're going to keep trying it out. We're going to get healthy. No more big back activity over here. So, yeah, y'all. That's my life. But yeah, y'all. I guess I'll see y'all on the flip side. I'm going to probably upload a video tomorrow. Somebody has said, who said this? Was it? Somebody has said something. They said, I don't know why you worried about the views. And I said, where'd this come from? They said, I don't know why you worried about the views. You too smart for these people. I said, my views, they be fluctuating every day. I don't know. You can't trust the views. But the problem, not the problem, the main thing about it is that I got great people who I see all the time. I see y'all amazing people all the time. So it's really way better than views, because who cares when you have like people, you know, that you could talk to. Like I get on here and I can talk to y'all. Like that's cool. So yeah, I thought that was so funny because I was like, well, period. Fuck the views. You see, I like some of those big bags. GR is hilarious. Look, I don't want my back expanding too much now. Not too much now. Look, y'all, this is the biggest y'all gonna see me at. This is the biggest I've ever been in my life. So we're not gonna get too big unless I get pregnant. And then if I get a baby, if I have a baby, that's a different type of big. That's acceptable. Other than that, y'all not gonna see me. So I gotta do something with my life. But yeah, y'all. I'll see y'all later. I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, your night, whatever time it is, wherever you are. And I hope the holidays was great for you guys, that you guys enjoyed it. You guys got a lot of rest. And back to the bullshit. You know, that's what we on. We back to our regularly scheduled program. Yeah, that was a great conversation. I really enjoyed talking about astrology, auras, electromagnetic energy fields, color spectrums, all the things. It was great. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Okay.